In this podcast episode, Dr. Andrew Huberman engages in a deep and wide-ranging conversation with Dr. Dacher Keltner, a professor of psychology and co-director of the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley. They explore the science of emotions, focusing on awe and its transformative impact on human connection, health, and social bonding. The discussion extends to the expressive nature of emotions, the role of teasing and embarrassment in male bonding, the effects of collective experiences like music and sports, and the potential of psychedelics as tools for cultivating awe and empathy. Throughout, the dialogue weaves together scientific findings, personal anecdotes, and reflections on societal challenges in the modern digital age. Dr. Keltner begins by framing awe as a complex emotion that is yet elusive to define precisely. Awe involves a sensation of upliftment and expansiveness rather than collapse or withdrawal. It occurs through a shift in perceptual scale, moving from a narrow, focused viewpoint to a broad, vast one, such as when one encounters a grand natural vista, a towering tree, or a powerful musical performance. Awe is tightly linked to changes in physiology, including elevation in vagal tone, goosebumps, unique vocal and facial expressions, and activity in specific brain regions. Scientific studies have demonstrated that awe has tangible health benefits, including reduced inflammation and attenuated symptoms in conditions like long COVID. One practice exemplifying the accessibility of awe is the awe walk, which encourages individuals to deliberately slow down and notice transitions from small, intricate details to large, universal patterns in their surroundings. Regular engagement in awe experiences has been shown to lessen physical pain and promote kindness and expansive consciousness, especially in older adults. Discussing emotional expression, Dr. Keltner elaborates on how traditional psychology often focused on a limited set of emotions and their universal facial expressions, as pioneered by Paul Ekman. However, the field has evolved to recognize a broader array of emotional states, including compassion, embarrassment, shame, laughter, and awe, with distinct motor patterns and physiological correlates. Using modern AI and computational tools, researchers have been able to analyze facial expressions across diverse cultures, revealing roughly 20 distinct and widely recognizable emotional expressions. While about 50 to 60% of these expressions are deeply hardwired into human evolutionary biology, cultural variations modulate how emotions are displayed and interpreted. Huberman and Keltner delve into the intricate relationship between the subjective feeling of an emotion, its bodily motor expressions, and language. These three aspects are deeply interconnected but can manifest independently. For example, cultural norms may encourage some people, especially in East Asian societies, to suppress outward motor expressions even while experiencing strong emotions internally. Likewise, individuals can articulate emotions with language without displaying corresponding nonverbal cues, and vice versa. The feeling component remains arguably the most uncharted territory in emotion science. It represents a rich blend of bodily sensations, neural activity, memories, and mental imagery, still poorly understood but essential to the lived emotional experience. Language helps conceptualize and communicate emotions, but often falls short of fully capturing their depth. Incorporating perspectives from contemplative traditions, the conversation highlights the importance of breath regulation as a window into emotional regulation. Deep exhalations activate the vagus nerve, producing physiological states associated with calmness, warmth in the chest, akin to the symbolic heart chakra, and compassion. These embodied experiences tie together ancient wisdom and contemporary neuroscience, showing that physical states profoundly influence emotional feelings. The modulation of vocal qualities and the physical positioning of the body also reflect emotional states, evident in how people express excitement or relaxation. The voice and breath are powerful, yet often overlooked pathways for understanding and cultivating emotions like awe and compassion. Keltner details approaches for measuring awe beyond controlled laboratory environments. His team has conducted field studies at places like the T-Rex skeleton replica in natural history museums, giant eucalyptus groves, Yosemite National Park, river rafting trips, music concerts, and art museums. Across these diverse settings, awe consistently emerges as a response to experiences that present vastness, mystery, or the crossing of perceptual thresholds from confinement to openness. The experience of awe is tied to physiological measures like vocalization patterns, facial expressions, heart rate variability, vagal tone, and goosebumps. In some cases, brain imaging shows deactivation of certain default mode network regions, corresponding with reduced self-referential thinking and increased sense of connection to something bigger. A recurring theme throughout the episode is the dynamic movement from small-scale focus to large-scale awareness, both perceptually and psychologically. This shift is fundamental to awe, expanding one's sense of self in space and time. Keltner recounts studies where older adults engaged in small to vast observational practices during walks, resulting in improved brain health, reduced pain, and increased feelings of awe and connectedness. Huberman and Keltner also discuss how visual aperture, such as seeing horizons versus tunnel vision, affects sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system activity, which in turn influences one's perception of time. Narrow focus heightens arousal and can distort time perception, while an expanded view facilitates relaxation and a broader temporal perspective, known as temporal distancing. This bidirectional flow between micro and macro awareness underpins a balanced and resilient emotional life. Another major topic is the role of teasing and embarrassment in male social bonding. Keltner's research shows that playful teasing among male friends functions as a way to reinforce group norms and signal commitment to the collective. Although teasing can be harsh and seemingly brutal, when done within the safety of a supportive group, it fosters closeness and trust. Embarrassment serves as a moral signal, indicating recognition of group rules and concern for social harmony. Darwin had theorized that the blush is a sign of ethical awareness. Moreover, embarrassment reduces perceptions of creepiness or social threat, particularly in contexts like romantic or flirtatious interactions. Healthy teasing is direct and face-to-face, accompanied by backing one another up when out of earshot. This form of social interaction builds loyalty and mutual support, acting as a form of repair work that maintains relationships even amid conflict or criticism. Keltner emphasizes the profound power of collective emotional experiences through music, sports, dance, and rituals. Music, in particular, acts as a form of nonverbal language that rapidly synchronizes brain activity, heart rate, and emotional states among participants, creating a shared sense of identity and belonging. Sports fandoms and live concerts exemplify collective effervescence, a sociological phenomenon where people unite emotionally around a common cause or celebration. Such gatherings facilitate social synchronization and feelings of transcendence, bonding individuals as part of something bigger than themselves. Examples include Bruce Springsteen or Taylor Swift concerts, mosh pits in punk shows, and massive sporting events like the Super Bowl. These experiences counteract social isolation and tap into our evolutionary predisposition for cooperation and group living. The conversation turns to the double-edged nature of modern technology, especially social media. While it offers unprecedented opportunities for global connection, information sharing, and democratization of culture, the current algorithms tend to promote content that inflames division, anxiety, and narcissism, ultimately undermining awe and authentic social connection. Keltner and Huberman discuss how social media often produces fragmented, shallow experiences lacking in memorability or depth, much unlike moments of awe, which are vividly remembered. The asynchronous and disembodied nature of online interaction, degrading eye contact and synchronous sharing, contrasts sharply with face-to-face social bonding. Despite these challenges, there is hope that technology can be redesigned or leveraged to cultivate awe, community, and collective well-being. Virtual spaces might incorporate elements of shared experience, ritual, and embodied presence, possibly enhanced by emerging artificial intelligence tools. Keltner shares his involvement in Cities of Awe initiatives with architectural firms, aiming to redesign urban environments to foster emotional connection, communal experiences, and access to nature. Features such as green spaces, public art, music venues, and places that encourage interpersonal interaction can nurture awe within daily life and strengthen social fabric. He highlights how communal activities, farmers markets, yoga classes, dance groups, and cooperative living are resurging as antidotes to social fragmentation. This blending of physical space, cultural programming, and social rituals offers a practical blueprint to revive collective life. The discussion broadens to the potential of classic psychedelics, LSD, psilocybin, DMT, viewed through the lens of awe. Keltner notes these substances facilitate profound experiences of self-transcendence, connection to nature, and shifts in time perception, core features of awe. Clinical research supports their efficacy in treating challenging psychiatric conditions, such as PTSD, addiction, anxiety, and depression. He cautions about the risks of casual or microdosing practices without proper guidance and emphasizes honoring indigenous traditions that originally contextualized these plant medicines as spiritual tools. Psychedelics, done responsibly, can amplify awe and lead to more compassionate, socially engaged individuals. Building on themes of shared experience, Keltner and Huberman reflect on the ancient and enduring significance of communal gatherings around campfires. Such settings have functioned for hundreds of thousands of years as spaces for storytelling, bonding, moral teaching, and emotional exchange. Modern parallels include climbing gyms with integrated art and music, saunas as social and physiological regulators, and campfire-style gatherings where people share music and conversation late into the night. These rituals anchor human connection and foster feelings of awe and belonging. Even the long wavelength red and infrared light emitted by fires may have direct health benefits on mitochondrial function, underscoring a biological dimension to these social experiences. Towards the end, the conversation turns personal and philosophical. Dr. Keltner shares his belief in life beyond death, influenced by his experience witnessing his brother's passing and moments of transcendent connection. While grounded in neuroscience and biology, he remains open to possibilities that consciousness might extend beyond material explanations, a perspective that informs his openness to awe, spirituality, and connection. Huberman and Keltner close with reflections on how to foster awe, empathy, and communal well-being across generational and cultural divides. As digital natives interact with emerging technologies, the challenge lies in creating environments, digital, physical, and social, that support deep connection rather than alienation. They emphasize the role of older generations in supporting young people's flourishing with new and traditional tools, combining scientific rigor with open-mindedness and compassion. Awe provides both a scientific framework and a cultural aspiration to heal fragmentation and build a more connected, just society.